Good morning everybody and welcome to this morning's English lesson. Now, this is really important, so listen carefully. This English lesson is going to last 2 to 3 days. So, I have put some very clear instructions onto Teams and I want you to go and read them. The most important thing is that you do not return this piece of work until the end of Thursday's English lesson, because you're going to write on it today, you're going to write on it tomorrow, and then on Thursday you're going to edit it and then send me your final version back on Thursday. So please go to Teams now, read all the instructions carefully. I have told you what resources are in there, why they're in there, and I have put a breakdown of each day of what you've got to do and whether you've got to hand in your work or not. So you're going to need this document for Tuesday's English lesson, Wednesday's English lesson and Thursday's English lesson, and then at the end of Thursday's English lesson you will return it. So please don't return it today or tomorrow, because you're not going to be able to finish your writing if you do that. So we're going to start writing our wanted poster. Now, if you were at school, we would have done some shared writing. Obviously, we can't do that now, but I can show you how I would write it if I was you and put you through my thought process to give you some ideas. Now, just like in school, if in the opening paragraph I've decided to use 2 or 3 sentences, I expect the same amount of work from you. Think about the quality of the work you're handing in. Some of you only sent me 1 sentence for your cold task, and you know that if you were at school you would have had to write more of that. So think about how much you'd get done in the lesson. Just like in school, I'm going to do a section today, and then that's the only section that you have to do at home. So today we're going to write 2 paragraphs. Tomorrow we're going to write 2 paragraphs. Okay, so this is Tuesday's English lesson. We are going to write our opening 2 paragraphs for our wanted poster, which is going to be a character description of Grendel. Hopefully all that makes sense. Just to show you, I have my planning in front of me, so I can use this to find some vocabulary. I have put these pictures on the lesson for you as well, so you've got them to help you, and you've also got all the planning you did last week. So let's get writing. Let me just find my sheet. So to start with, we are going to start with a rhetorical question, and I expect you to start with a rhetorical question too. And we're going to start with a rhetorical question because we all know that rhetorical questions hook the reader in. So I'm going to start with, have you seen this foul fiend? And I'm going to highlight foul fiend for you because this is a word that I got off of my planning sheet. Some of that description to describe Grendel. Okay, so Grendel, and I'm going to add in a relative clause. Remember, we're going to start with who because it's a name. I'm going to explain who Grendel is. So Grendel, who was last seen carrying the bloodied corpses of 30 lords back to his lair, and I know that from the story that we've been reading. So Grendel, who was last seen carrying the bloodied corpses, I got that from the book. I'll give it a little highlight for you to keep reminding you of the 30 lords back to his lair, is currently on the run from King Hrothgar. Okay, so I've hooked the reader in, and I've explained who this wanted poster is about and why they're being hunted. Okay, I'm going to add almost like a bounty, a reward on top of that, because a lot of the time wanted posters come with rewards to make people more likely to report if they've seen someone. So this beast has a bounty on his head for 243 golden bars, and you can decide what you think your bounty is going to be or your reward is going to be and decide yourself. Okay, so I've got an opening paragraph there. I've got a rhetorical question to hook the reader in. I've got a relative clause. I'll underline it. We know we love to underline a relative clause to explain who Grendel is, and I have also explained why he is being hunted, why we've written this wanted poster about him. So at this point, you can either now open your blank document and have a go at writing your opening paragraph, or you can watch while I write the next paragraph so you can see how much you've got to do all together, and then come back and rewind the video to help you out later. So if you want to pause now and write your opening paragraph, you can. If you want to carry on and see the rest of the writing for today, you can, and you can rewind and pause this video anywhere that you need it. So in the next paragraph, I'm going to start describing Grendel and giving some description about what he looks like. No one's going to be able to report that they've seen Grendel if they don't know what he looks like. Okay, so I'm going to start by thinking about how other people might describe him. So described by villagers as a beast born of evil. Now, I'm sure you'll remember that we got that from one of the extracts we looked at earlier on last week. Described by villagers as a beast born of evil, Grendel is a merciless, and that's a word I planned last week. I planned on my gingerbread men on here. I think I did it for personality and attitude. He's merciless. Grendel is a merciless monster with... Oh, I've not spelt monster properly. Monster with a yellow poisoned eye. That's going to be quite key for the villagers to be able to report back, because not many people have yellow poisoned eyes that are walking around. Okay? Who lives just outside our village. And actually, I think I'm going to go back here and add in some brackets, because it's usually a quiet village. But at the moment it's not, because Grendel keeps terrorising everybody. Okay, now I'm going to go on to describe Grendel a little bit more. So from head to toe, Grendel reeks of evil with his large, menacing... That's another expanded noun phrase. We had one here. Yellow poisoned eyes, large menacing frame. Remember, adjective, noun. Large menacing frame. Sharp claws. I'm using my commas for a list. Sharp claws and vampire-like fangs. So I've got my expanded noun phrase. I've got a comma because I'm going to put a list. I've said he's also got sharp claws, and then I've used my conjunction and to put the last point of my list in. Okay? He is a savage, bad-tempered, again, another relative expanded noun phrase. You've got to keep adding that description in. Remember, a character description is all about describing a character. So he is a savage, bad-tempered creature. He hates all things good, in brackets, some extra information, and usually spends his time slithering. I got that off my plan for his movements. Slithering through the darkness. Slithering through the darkness, stalking his prey before pouncing unexpectedly. Again, pouncing and stalking came from my planning sheet. So this is all the writing I'm going to show you today. So this is how much you, at least you have to write in your wanted poster. So you're going to need an opening paragraph that is going to explain why Grendel is being hunted. And your first paragraph is going to use your planning to describe what Grendel looks like, how he moves, and what he's up to. The things I would like you to remember, and I'll write these in the lesson for you. I want you to remember to add in expanded noun phrases, powerful adjectives and description. It would be nice in our opening paragraph if everyone could have a relative clause and if everyone could use a bracket somewhere in their writing. Last but not least, remember you're going to need lots of conjunctions to extend your sentences. And what I will do is I will put some conjunction mats into the lesson for you as well. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. So now you're going to go and write your opening paragraphs. Remember, read the instructions on Teams carefully because there is a lot of information on there and it's important that you follow the instructions. Do not hand in your work today because you are going to need to carry on tomorrow. Okay. Well done, everybody. Off you go and do your opening paragraphs, and I look forward to seeing the writing you come up with.